What is going on, everyone, and welcome to Kart 63. My name is Ben. Thank you very much for stopping by. If you didn't mind hitting a like on this video sometime during the video, possibly subscribe to the channel if you're new here, that would be awesome. And I hope there's newbies here, because basically I think this channel was designed for two different people, my love for UAS and new karters, because people who have been in it as long as I have, 20, well, I have to redo this, so 21 years, working on year 22, that have been doing it a while, understand most of this stuff, and you know, I'm forever learning, so I'm learning along with you guys, along with them, and nobody knows everything, or else they'd just be a dominant cart all the time. But these premises that, you know, especially during the winter here, while I'm doing videos trying to get back out to the garage, you may have heard these terms or not thought about these things as a new karter, and I thought today we could discuss rotational weight and why it matters. Okay, what is rotational weight? Rotational weight is everything that is your engine is propelling. So I'm specifically talking about from your clutch back to your axle, all that stuff. This is the reason why you see things like ultralight brakes, mini brake systems, why you see ultralight hubs, 4-bolt hub systems, you know, gears that are really holy. You're seeing skip tooth gears and, you know, lighter clutch parts. Now, one of the things I did want to mention was I haven't seen a lot of it, and my kart partner there, Walt, that he has brought up an aluminum axle, and I actually haven't thought about that in a minute. I'm not sure how it would deal with the dirt tracks around here. I think they have played with them in road course stuff. So Walt has driven and raced dirt, but he is also comes from the world of sprint karts, from road course racing. And I think that might have been something that was played with before. Now, rotationally, you got to figure you are limited to whatever horsepower your engine puts out. Your clone, your Predator, or whatever, you know, Predator is even lower than clone, but you're limited to 12, 15 horsepower, you know, ish, give or take. I don't know what your dyno says, but I'm guessing it's that. So the more weight you can take off between the clutch, the rear gear, the rear axle, hubs, the whole 9 yards, titanium bolts, anything like that, if you can make that system lighter, that makes your acceleration faster. You are gaining, you know, not horsepower to weight ratio, but the ability for that engine to turn less weight is going to transfer that horsepower to the ground faster. That's why you see all these things. You know, you don't run mini light brakes because of weight savings on the cart. And maybe, you know, if you're really trying to get down to like a 300 class, it might make a difference, but it doesn't. What you want is that really, really small disc going to your brake, because that's on your axle. If you run the 7.1 inch brake disc along with a bigger hub, that is more rotational weight. That is horsepower that you're robbing from your engine getting to the ground. And obviously, you know, handling's one thing, but we all want horsepower. That's why I do UAS, you know. I love horsepower. I love, you know, just nabbing the throttle, getting down that. Well, like I said before, when you can save weight back there, it's going to increase the amount of horsepower that is delivered to the ground. The lighter the components are on the drivetrain, back to the rear axle, and on the rear axle, the more it's going to want to go forward. Now, this may come at a cost. I mean, with lightweight hubs, like a 4-bolt, if you're going, you know, a lightweight hub on your mini light brakes, if you're doing things lightning stuff, you have a tendency to give up durability because it's not that strong. Now, I have run solid gear hubs, like it's full aluminum, that's holding my gear on my open just to keep it from coming apart, because I have broke those little flanges, or the little flanges where they are cut out a little bit, and there's nothing to come out of those, although I had slid the thing over and ate the key out of it. Anyway, that's a different story for a different time. You don't want all that weight back there. You are not going to be running a C high performance thick brake rotor on your clone, because that is a whole bunch of rotational weight that you are not going to want for a clone. Is it going to matter Saturday night racing? You know, probably. I guarantee you, if you were to take, say, my UAS cart, put a small tank on it, put a clone on it, but run the rear axle the way I have it set up, with the thicker brake hub, with the standard gears, with the C high performance brake rotor, all that weight, and you drag race those two carts side by side, the one with the lighter stuff is just going to go faster. And that's what we're talking about, rotational weight. So you're going to have to determine to yourself whether or not lightening your rear end up, putting these components are, if you bought a chassis, is it something that you're okay with, or do you want to upgrade to bigger brakes? Maybe you run on a rough track, maybe you run treads. These are all things that you might want to consider. Yes, you're giving up horsepower to the ground by going with some heavier duty components, but you're also increasing your durability, as that stuff is not going to fail. I believe Shavitz, am I saying Shavitz? I'll just say Shavitz. That's the way I've always said it. I think the Southerners pronounce it differently. Anyway, he talks about, I think he won, it was an indoor race. It was at Batesville, something like that. And he finished the race. It was like $5,000 to win, $10,000 to win, and something like that. And he says when he was pushing it off the cart, Four Takes and Fuel, they had him on. When he was pushing the cart off, the rear hub had actually, and it wouldn't have made it, another restart, I'm sure, but it came apart. So things like that are a real thing. If you're concerned about breakage, maybe you're not going to be as concerned with rotational weight as maybe somebody, who can afford to replace those components more often. So there you go. It's basically for the new guys, but sometimes, even us older people, been around, we haven't heard it in a while, and you get thinking, hey, why am I running a bigger hub? Am I sacrificing some horsepower there? Can I get a little more out of my engine? Maybe it's something that's overlooked, and maybe this video is what reminded you that, hey, take a peek at that. But I really do appreciate everyone coming by. Dude, this whole being inside thing, don't live in New York if you don't like winter. Right? I don't like winter. I like to race. I like to be out of the barn. I like tinkering. I like doing stuff. Anyway, all right, guys. I will see you next week for another video, and I'm just going to say later.